We're live. How about that?
We are live, and I already have a suggestion. So this is off to a great start.
Okay, what's your suggestion?
If we're gonna have a countdown, we gotta have the can we play in the Jericho sound effect? What are you doing here?
I mean, maybe we might be able to. I might be able to cobble something
Or we got to
together.
get the crowd doing the countdown for the 3, 2, 1. Man, we got to have something. Come on.
Good point. Good point. Those are good.
You're upgrading our production here. Let's do this right.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I will take those under advisement. How about that?
Okay.
All right. Cool.
I know when I'm being told to shut up. Good.
No. I'm being sincere. I will consider these things. And I can't promise anything for next week, but eventually I might be able to implement. I mean, I got Fridays. I can work on this stuff now. So
hey, there we go.
So, for those of you who may not be aware, I am Kris. That is Matt. This is Kris and Matt's Wrestling Pod 2.0. We call it 2.0 because this used to be an audio-only podcast that we would record at my kitchen table. And then pandemic and blah, 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 blah. We stopped doing it. And then a little, about a year and a half ago now, I was like, hey, we should start this up again and put it on YouTube. And so here we are. This is episode 67.
Wow.
And this is our first week going live because I decided let's just go live. Basically, I just didn't want to go through after we got done recording. I was like, and then I got to put post it and blah, it was more laziness out of my part than anything.
But. Yeah, don't pretend like you did this out of like, oh no, we want to make the production better. You're like, I want to do even less than I already do. We already don't do any pre-production, so right. You were like, right. If I don't have to do any posts too, win-win for everybody. So
absolutely. So, all right. So we have Bash in Berlin. Oh, well, actually. Real quick, a lot has happened because we didn't do a show last week because you were on dad duty doing the dad thing.
Yes.
So we didn't do a show last week. I was on Late Night Grin again to preview Bash in Berlin. Yes, that was fun. And then, but in between then we Sid passed away. That was super unfortunate. What else has happened? Oh, Aces reunited. Linkin Park's got a new singer and a new album coming out. Feel like we missed a lot. Well, the Linkin Park thing happened today, but
right. I mean, AEW had a pay-per-view.
AEW had a pay-per-view.
Had a PLE.
Yeah,
TNA
right.
had a show. NXT had a show. Well, a paper PLE. Yeah, we picked like the perfect week not to be around. So
yeah, exactly.
Blame my daughter for getting into color guard.
Yeah, that's fine. So we will. I think obviously we're going to talk about Bash in Berlin last weekend. And also we're going to do our usual preview for AEW All Out this weekend with having you guess the odds here. It's going to be fun. Where do you want to start?
I'm only here for the Lions talk, so you tell me what we're doing with wrestling.
Okay, all right.
No,
well,
actually, no, I've got something. I actually have something.
Right.
I watched Bash in Berlin, and I watched all of Raw this week, and I loved both shows. I was especially Raw, like Monday Night Raw this week. It just felt like every segment hit. It's I'm pretty open about the fact that I don't watch every week anymore, and I pick and choose what I'm watching. But the wife and I resubscribed to YouTube TV for Lions season. So I was like, let me sit down and watch Raw, and man, it hit. It is incredibly fun to watch a show where they've got 4 or 5 different things that could main event the show every single week. They've got options week after week now. And the little bit of SmackDown I've watched lately, like, it's not even close to being on Raw's level.
No.
And the biggest star in the company is there. Well, arguably the biggest star in the company is there.
Yeah.
So no, I was really impressed with what WWE pulled off this week, and for an old head like me, it entertained me. I know the younger generation of wrestling fans has been blown away about this stuff, and it caught up to me too. I really liked what I was watching, and I'm anxious to watch Raw next week.
Yeah. Well, let's start with the PLE and work forwards from there. I know we didn't talk. We texted a little bit about it, back and forth. But we'll just start. So I know you weren't crazy about the finish of the opening match, but besides that, what did you think of Cody and KO?
I mean, it's really good work. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I guess specifically, you didn't get into specifics. What exactly about the finish did you not like?
I just don't like the KO spends most of the match working on Cody's back, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the whole lead-in was about the leg,
mm-hmm.
And then when they finally get to the spot where Cody tweaked his leg, he's still threatening to hit him with a move to injure his back, and then he has a change of heart, and it ends, with Cody winning, whatever. I didn't like that the lead-in was, he's got this banged-up knee, it's KO going to take advantage of it, and the whole match is built around his back, and even the crux of KO's moral dilemma is based on something that wasn't really what the focus was coming into the match. So I thought that was a little bit of just like, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't the main event program. It's clearly like they were just getting that match together. It was a really good, solid match. Nothing spectacular, nothing over the top. But just two guys having a really solid match. And I think it also, they did a really good job of reminding people how long it's been since KO's won a singles title. They kind of beat us over the head with it.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be obviously some motivation for his character in the coming months. And I think he kind of needs a little bit of a refresh. He's been the same Kevin Owens for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I think, the heel turn seems like it's coming at some point. But maybe not. They seem to be hinting at a lot of guys going back and forth right now.
Yeah. Yeah, and then they're in this weird spot where like they need heels, especially on SmackDown, but like I don't know if the crowd as a whole is ready for any of these guys to turn, like I don't think anyone's ready to boo KO right now. I don't think anyone's ready, obviously no one's ready to boo Randy at this point. So they're in this weird position where they need to flip somebody, but do they will they go ahead with it, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know if they need to, because they've got so many hot babyface acts on SmackDown specifically. Cody, LA Knight, Roman's back, Randy. Those are guys that you can use their star power to make a lesser guy maybe feel a little more important, which is clearly what they're trying to do with the Bloodline, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But there's other guys you could do that with on the show too.
Sure. Yeah, I like the match. To me, it was too. I got what they were going for, and I think ultimately it I don't want to say it worked, but it was. I just got it. They were trying to put the character development of Kevin, on display, of like he's not the same dickwad, but especially the whole coming off this whole Will Ospreay Tiger Driver nonsense that they were doing in AEW. Like I was just like, I think I even tweeted it. I said KO saw Will Ospreay and the Tiger Driver stuff, and he said, "Hold my Molson." Like,
yeah,
like the whole, crisis of conscience about going after the leg after Cody tweaked it. It was like, I got it. Like he said that he didn't want to, go after that and have Cody be able to use it as an excuse and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it just was like, but but yeah, overall, I thought the match was solid. So yeah. You got anything about Jade and Bianca winning the tag titles back?
Not really. It's I never thought they should have dropped the belts in the first place, so it was kind of a. I mean, the whole card was pretty much a foregone conclusion of what was going to happen, and I felt like it was fine.
But it was. I think that's like the biggest testament of knowing that what they're doing is working, because that's pretty much every PLE since Mania. Like, I don't think there's other than Isla Dawn and Alba Fire maybe winning the belts at Clash at the Castle. But other than that, everything has gone pretty much how most people have thought it would go. So the fact that things are so predictable, but people are still so invested in it, just goes to show that like predictable isn't always bad if you're executing at a high level.
Yeah.
And some things more than others, but for the most part, I think they are. So,
well, and if it's working, hopefully they have the good sense not to do the swerve, bro. They'll never see it coming,
right.
Which will kill momentum in its tracks when it's done wrong. And I feel like for years that's what WWE was known for. Something was hot, we're gonna swerve the crowd. They'll never see it coming, and then the act is over.
Right. Yeah. The strap match.
Yes.
The
dumbest match in wrestling.
I don't know about that.
It is the dumbest gimmick match in wrestling. It's they're tied to a strap. They can't go anywhere. They're locked together, right? If only we had a cage that could lock them in a structure together, and they'd have nowhere to go. Oh wait, that's going to be the next match in this feud. Like, I don't know. I hate strap matches. I hate what I really don't like about this feud is they keep promising this unprecedented level of violence, and then they just go out and have like a regular wrestling match. Like, that's what's really getting me. What Drew did on Raw was more violent and more like advancement for the program than either of the matches they've had so far. And you've got Phil out there like, I'm gonna tear Drew McIntyre apart, and then they go in there and he's doing bulldogs and all of his signature stuff. It's just, I don't know. The matches haven't hit for me. Everything about this feud has been mwah until that damn bell rings.
I like the match. I like the SummerSlam match, and I like this one even better. The four corners thing is much like the escape the cage thing. It's just a way that they a way that they do things that to help so people don't gotta take the loss or whatever. So so it is what it is. Phil got some color, so
that looked like that was an accident too.
It could have been. But yeah, I mean, I liked it. But
you compare like, and it's maybe it's an oversimplification of the comparison, but like you compare that match that they had last week to Punk's match with MJF, the dog collar match, which was absolutely brutal. And obviously WWE isn't going to do that level of violence.
Yeah.
But at least it felt like those two hated each other and were ready to rip each other limb for limb. It wasn't until Monday when Drew snapped that it really felt like there was like, it's no longer about egos and bracelets and all that. Like, it felt like I want to significantly harm this person. Sure. And if Phil hadn't spent so much time talking about it, and Drew too, about how much they were gonna tear each other apart, and then they just have these regular ass matches, I think I'd be a little more on board with what they've been doing. But that segment on Monday killed. It was so good.
Yeah. It was really good. I couldn't they have. I mean, I don't know if it would have made the match quality any better, but like I got to thinking because I like you, I kind of was thinking about the dog collar match with MJF, and I'm like, so this whole thing is like, well, not the whole thing, but like a big part of this, especially here in the last couple months, has been, you know, the bracelet, obviously, and part of the bracelet is his dog Larry. I'm like, couldn't we have done like a, obviously not a dog collar, but could we have done like a dog leash where instead of the strap being around their wrists, they put the straps around their neck, and it still was a strap match, but yeah, I was like, that would have been different. Like, again, it wouldn't have changed the quality, but I just thought it would have been a little bit more, you know, appropriate for the story. But I digress.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, we can just roll it and talk about the segment on Raw here. You know, Punk did a backstage interview after the match on Saturday and said he was going to go after the world title, and he came out on Monday to say the same thing, and Drew comes out in a hoodie and attacks him and destroys him, like claymores him out of his shoe. He takes the bracelet, you know, because obviously Punk got the bracelet back in the match on Saturday, and so he takes the bracelet off Punk's wrist again, and I'm like, even I, who was like okay with the bracelet stuff, I'm like, are we really like going to continue this part of it? And then Drew breaks it, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then not only does he break it, he takes the beads and shoves them down Punk's throat. It was pretty cool, and claymores him again.
Well, and Joe Tess going, the beads are sure all about the ring. Like,
yes. Oh, we'll get to Joe Tess here shortly.
So when they went to commercial, right, and they came back and they were wheeling him through, I was like, man, what better way to do like a Sid tribute than to have Drew come out and, you know, flip the stretcher or whatever. But then I feel like they did the Austin Bret Hart, where Bret was being wheeled to the back and then Stone Cold caught up, and but Drew trying to gouge his eyes, like that was like, man, here we go. Where was this 2 nights ago?
Right. So, then we got the mixed tag, and low key, you know, we didn't get a chance to talk about it beforehand. But I was staying on the grin last week that like that was the match I was most excited for, was the mixed tag, just because I think that story has supplanted the Punk Drew story as the hottest one in the territory. Especially since SummerSlam. And it might swing back in the other direction now. But the you know, Liv Dom Rhea pre stuff was super hot in between SummerSlam and Bash in Berlin. So I was really looking forward to it. And it was everything I wanted it to be, short of, I really wanted them to have Rhea finally, you know, they've been teasing her hitting the Riptide on Dom, and I wanted her to hit it and pin him and have the ref count it. And then on Raw, then Dom and Liv could have came out and said, no, that doesn't count, because it's got to be men against men, women against women. But they didn't do that. But Priest and Rhea did win, so that looks like we're gonna.
Well, and the reaction the crowd had when she finally got her hands on Dom too.
Oh yeah,
you've been waiting for that for weeks. So.
Oh yeah, and they did the callback spot to her choking him in the corner with her legs and stuff like that, and yeah, it was good stuff. It was good stuff. And it looks like we're gonna get her and Liv again one-on-one, probably at Bad Blood.
No, the segment on Monday, they kicked off the show. Like, it's, man, the reaction she got when she came out was just like, I know Becky has been, you know, the man for a while. Rhea's getting like, there's maybe 2 or 3 people in the company that get bigger pops than her when she comes out now. Like, she is a star.
Yeah.
They have
Yeah.
they have hit such a home run with her, and this babyface run is just taken off. Like she's pretty awesome, and like this being paired with the hottest heel in the company is just it's outstanding television.
Mm-hmm. And she covers a lot of demographics too.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you saw when they did the Fanatics Fest and they had the
With the little girl.
Yeah, with the little girl doing the entrance. So you got the little kids who love her. My wife is like into Rhea. Like, she doesn't care about anything. Like, that was the match on Saturday. She's like, let me know when Rhea's on. Yeah. And then while I was watching Raw on Monday, like, she's like, is Rhea gonna be back on it all tonight? Like, she saw the opening segment and stuff like that. And after she put Kingston to bed, she comes back. She's like, is Rhea gonna be back on at all? And go, maybe. And she did. There was one more backstage segment where she was talking to Jay about teaming up with Priest or something like that. But yeah. So
no, she talked to Priest, and then
right.
she was like, yeah, I talked to so and so.
Right.
Yada, yada.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
That's what it was. So yeah, they got that, and of course they got, the dudes.
Yeah, the dudes.
The dudes. I'll just leave it at that.
The ones that appreciate her for her work as a wrestler, and then the creepy ones.
And sometimes those are the same people.
Maybe I'm talking to one of those people right now.
Maybe. Yeah, so she's a star.
And she's making Liv more important.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Dom isn't where Dom is without her over the last 2 years, and he's just going to become even more hated. She's about to elevate Curtain Jerker Jey Uso. Like, she's on fire.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely. And then the main event, Gunther and Randy for the world title. I think this is what everyone was expecting it to be. It was awesome. It was weird. Because the show was so straightforward in that, like, we were done on the Grin with our preview for the show like an hour in. And we're like, yeah. So we ended up just bullshitting for the last hour, but like, when it came time to do that match and it was my turn to talk, I'm like, I was like, this match is going to rule and Gunther's going to win. Like, that's all you need to know. And that's exactly what happened. So there's no funny business this time. Thankfully. So
it's really nice to see Randy getting his flowers, like, at this point, especially, the being out, his career might've been over, but like, I've been a Randy Orton guy since 2003. Like, so yeah. I've watched over the years as people are like, oh, he can't work. He's boring. There's no depth to him. And now, like, I think people are realizing if, Cena's LeBron, right? Randy Orton is Kevin Durant. Or if it weren't for John Cena, we'd be talking about Randy being one of the 4 or 5 best of all time. That dude has had an absolutely legendary career. And now that he's kind of like when Shawn came back, like, there's this new appreciation of like, man, we almost lost this guy forever. And now that he's here, let's just watch him cook, as the kids like to say. And I mean, not that Gunther needs any help, but great match. And it's nice to see Randy kind of taking this. I think we know where this is going for Mania. I think this is going to be a fun ride.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to it. And it looks like maybe we're getting a Gunther Sammy round 2 for the world title this time. Maybe. Possibly. So.
I don't know. It's kind of. I get that, and we'll get to this with AEW. I get that Sammy's the last person to pin Gunther, but he just lost like 4 big matches in a row again. There's one major critique.
He lost 2. Okay. I mean, but yeah, I get your point. hopefully they have him beat a couple people here in the next couple weeks, and not just like do the match. It certainly seems that way because Gunther's like no.
Yeah.
So it seems like they're gonna put some work in to get this done and not just hand him the match, but we'll see what happens. So what else on Raw? It was really, really a bummer that that old Bronson Reed was out with the COVID. So he couldn't compete in the triple threat for the Intercontinental title tournament. So that came out, and then I saw the report right before Raw that they were going to replace him with Braun. And at first, I was like, I don't love that. Like, he should not be on TV this week. But I also get that they're in a bind and whatnot. And I actually thought, seeing it, I was like, okay, I still don't love it, but I like, he sold it. Like, it wasn't like he was just like, oh, I'm good. No, he was like, the way he like dragged himself into Pierce's office to be like, put me in the match and stuff like that. I was like, okay, and like the way he like basically crawled to the ring and stuff like, I was like, oh, okay.
No, yeah, and then he won the match. Like, oh my god.
Well, yeah.
He's in that category with me of like Nia Jax and stuff, where no matter what he does, I'm always gonna hold his past against him, and I'm never gonna be like, oh, I'm really excited to see Braun Strowman. Like, it's just not gonna happen for me.
So, because that was we didn't get to talk about that angle from the last week where the car spot, which was awesome.
Right. But I would argue by having Braun on the show this week, you just completely undermined the impact of that segment. You can't tell me there wasn't somebody else in the locker room that they could have just been like, oh, I'm going to take his spot. And then you could just have Bronson come back and like crush them to continue this run of destroying people. Like, oh, you're going to take my spot? Blah, blah, blah. I don't know. It's just, I get it. They had to come up with something. You've got an entire locker room of incredibly talented people. It didn't need to be Braun, and he certainly didn't need to win the match.
Fair. That's fair. Yeah, I get that. And who Dragunov advance. So next week it's Jey Uso, Pete Dunne, Ilya Dragunov, and Braun Strowman for the number one contendership. And it certainly seems like it's going to be Jey Uso because they've been teasing him and Braun Breaker pretty heavy the last couple weeks.
Right. And then Judgment Day will screw Uso, and that will be the...
Maybe. Yeah, that could be. Yeah, it's really weird because it certainly looked like there for a minute they were going to do Jay and Sammy taking on Judgment Day for the tag titles. And then Sammy lost the IC title and went away. And then Jay's like, oh, I'll go for the IC title. And now Sammy's back. Looking like he's going to go for the world title while Jay's going for the, like, so I don't know. We'll see. But what else was on Raw? That was pretty good. I actually liked the 6-person tag with Alpha Academy versus American Made.
Yeah.
Like I thought, like we remember the videos of everyone getting on Maxine's case at the house show late last year or early this year or whatever that was, and I was like, wow, okay, she's put some work in. Like, she's still not great by any means, but she put some work in, so good for her. She was passing.
Yeah, I'll admit that was one of the matches I picked up my phone, and that's
sure.
I was looking at something.
We're losing you.
Oh, are you?
Yeah. You're back now, I think. You're back now, but I think your audio and your video are now a little off kilter. But
Great. Good thing we upgraded the production values.
yeah, I think we're good now. But the most exciting thing, I was looking forward to it. Joe Tess making his debut as the play-by-play announcer for Monday Night Raw. And I thought, aside from a couple hiccups here and there, I thought he did a really good job. I loved the way they opened the show of him and Wade in the ring, because it was very much when you turn on a football game, what's the first thing you see? It's the commentators in the booth going over, all the storylines of the game and stuff. And so that's what this reminded me of. I hope they keep that, like maybe not do it every week, but I hope it's a regular thing they do, because I really liked that aspect. And yeah, I just think he did a really good job. I think there were some people who were like, oh, he's just a serious football boxing guy. I don't know if you remember, there was that show Holy Moly on ABC.
Yeah, with Rob Riggle. I love that show.
Yeah, it was a miniature golf show, putt golf show that was produced by Steph Curry of all people, and the commentators were Rob Riggle and Joe Tess. So it's like he can do that, like silly stuff, the sports entertaining stuff. He can do that too. So I think he's just going to keep getting better and more comfortable in the role, and him and Wade are going to continue to build the chemistry. And yeah, I thought their first week together was pretty good. So
yeah, I really liked the two of them together. I liked the little graphics they threw up where it was like, here's your play-by-play guy, your lead announcer, your backstage interviewers. Like,
yeah.
And look, man, I know you're a McAfee guy. I liked McAfee at first, but I think objectively speaking, towards the end there, he got insufferable as a commentator. I'm kind of looking forward to a little bit more of someone who's kind of guiding the ship in a more serious fashion, and then when it's necessary, there can be a little bit of goofiness.
Yeah.
But you're trying to portray this as like a serious thing, and McAfee and Cole have back and forth ha-ha-has. Kind of got stale after a while. So
yeah, I can see that. So yeah, so he'll go take a little break and for a few months, and yeah, that's fine. I don't have anything else WWE related. Do you?
No, not really. I could make jokes about how Cody's going to steal the company from Triple H in the next 20 years, but we'll leave that for another day.
Did you see he's getting sued?
Who?
Cody. Well, Cody, WWE, and Fanatics are all getting sued.
Did he not put Sting on or Kevin Kelly on Sting's retirement match too?
No, apparently there's some band called American Nightmare.
Awesome.
And they had the trademark, and they had worked out a deal when he was in AEW about, okay, we're going to produce merchandise that says American Nightmare. Here's these certain parameters that they have to go by, where it's got like, it's got to say American Nightmare and then clearly be, say Cody Rhodes on it, or have his face on it, or something like that. And apparently there's some stuff that doesn't live up to the standards. So the lead singer of this band is suing them all. Good. It's like, crying because, oh, people are wearing Cody Rhodes shirts to my concerts, and we're constantly getting tagged and stuff. I'm like, oh, cool. People are going to your Instagram page of a band that no one's ever heard of. Poor you.
All that merchandise behind you. You think they'd be okay with someone using their name without permission? Huh?
Hell no.
Yeah, exactly. Shut up.
So that's fine. That's fair.
I hope they get a huge cut of the merchandise.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see how much of a huge cut they get.
Yeah, I'm sure TKO's lawyers are gonna
Hello.
Wrap this up in a.
Is your internet going wonky? All right. Well.
Yeah, because I'm losing everything now.
Okay. Awesome.
Might have to go without my pretty face for a little bit.
Okay, well, that's fine. We can let's go through we got All Out this weekend. Pulled up the bet online. There's only 6 matches listed. I'm sure I know there's more than that. I know they announced a tag title match last night. But we'll just go with these here that they have. Beginning with the TBS Championship. The champion, Mercedes Moné, defending against Hikaru Shida.
All right. I got to think Mercedes is the favorite again.
Yes.
Mercedes minus 2,000.
How about minus 10,000?
Okay. See, yeah, whatever.
Yes.
At this point, I'm just hopeful that I'm in the ballpark, and that's not even close, really. But minus 2,000 is a pretty much a gimme.
Yeah. Right. So that makes Shida plus 2,000.
Okay, so the 2,000 fits somewhere.
Yeah. You're in the ballpark. We have a singles match between MJF and Daniel Garcia.
So I'm not sure. MJF is going to win. I feel like it's going to be a pretty decisive win. But I'm not sure betting odds wise, because I could see a scenario where they're like, oh, we want to bring Garcia in and give him a hot little start. But I feel like Grand Slam is where he's going to get his big moment over MJF. And that's what, 3 weeks away? Something like that?
Right.
So, all right, give me MJF at minus 450. Danny Garcia at plus 200.
So it's MJF minus 200.
Okay.
Daniel Garcia plus 150.
All right. I like it. I would be willing to sprinkle a unit or two on Garcia just in case when it's that close. Because I could also see where, Garcia gets the win and MJF has one of his crazy, screaming it into the microphone for 15-minute promos, on Wednesday. And that's the setup for a big match at Grand Slam too. Because I feel like that's where they're going to have a major match. It's both of their, not hometowns exactly, but close enough.
Yeah. Then we have a Chicago street fight. Chris Statlander taking on Willow Nightingale. This was originally going to be for the CMLL title, but now I guess it's not, because I guess CMLL didn't want the title decided in a street fight or something, some sort of wrestling politic thing like that. So
just because I'm a Stokely Heavyweight fan, I'm going with Stat.
Okay.
Give me Stat at minus 500.
Okay.
Willow plus 175.
So Stat is minus 325. Willow is plus 215.
Interesting.
Yes. The AEW International Championship. Will Ospreay, the champion, defending against Pac.
So this should be the best match of the night. If Ospreay had,
yeah,
no, it will be. if Ospreay hadn't just won the title, I feel like this would be a lot more of a toss up. But Ospreay, I feel like is got to be the big time favorite. Give me minus 2,500, which would put Pac at like plus 750.
So these have the exact same odds as the Mercedes match. So
There we go.
Will Ospreay is minus 10,000. Pac is plus 2,000. AEW World Championship. Bryan Danielson defending against your boy Jack Perry.
Bryan Danielson minus 500,000. If Jack Perry wins the title, I'll never watch AEW again.
Bryan Danielson minus 10,000. Jack Perry plus 2,000.
Like, look, I know a lot of people, and I even tweeted you about it. Like, I tuned into Dynamite for 10 minutes towards to see what Bryan had to say, and then I saw what they did, and I'm like, whoop, don't need to buy this pay-per-view. I get people are complaining about it being Jack Perry, but like legit, he's the last guy to beat Bryan. It's going to get major heat. Like, I get why they're doing it, but it was an immediate for me, like, nope, I give zero craps about seeing this match.
Right. Yeah, I get you. Yeah. My immediate was like, oh, they had Bryan beat Swerve to do this.
But, right.
Anyhow, speaking of Swerve, that brings us to the last match here that they have listed. This is going to be the main event because it is now a lights out steel cage match with Hangman Adam Page taking on Swerve Strickland.
All right.
The arsonist, Hangman Adam Page.
Are we like... I know so many people were like, that was such a cool segment. And the visual of Hangman sitting in front of a burning house was outstanding. However, like... This is so far outside of the realm of like a blood feud. It's just stupid now. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know who the favorite is. I don't know who the good guy is. I don't know who the bad guy. And maybe that's the brilliance of this whole thing. You pick a side. Who do you root for more? If it's me, if Hangman doesn't win here, like, I don't know what we're supposed to think of him as a character at that point. So I would say Hangman minus 150, Swerve plus 125.
So it's Hangman minus 400, Swerve plus 250.
Wow, so they're pretty big on Hangman. But see, I could see that they have Swerve win this match too.
Oh no. He's gone. Matt's gone. That's sad. Yeah, that sucks. No, Hangman should win. Oh, are we back? Let's see.
I don't know.
Are we back?
Sure. We'll see.
All right. That was weird. You just disappeared.
Yeah, I was mid-sentence and it just went whoop.
All right, cool. No, Hangman needs to win. If Hangman doesn't win, I will be Hangman sitting outside Jaguars headquarters.
I see. Not to veer off topic too much, but like, I really want to go to the Jags Lions game at Ford Field because I want to take a sign that says TK fears Phil Brooks and just see if I can get it on some sort of social media. It just because I want to troll Tony Khan too. And to your point, like at somewhere along the line, they got to get Hangman back to where he was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if they keep having him lose to Swerve, I just don't know how people are going to get behind him again.
Well, yeah, and maybe that's the point. Maybe they are going. I mean, obviously they're going full bore into this heel run. I don't like it. I fucking hate it. But it's hard for me. Like Cody's 1, Hangman's 2 for me as far as like guys that like I'm emotionally invested in wrestling. Like it's like those 2 guys and a few other people, but in AEW it's Hangman. Like that he's the only guy that I have any emotional investment in. And I've talked about it a bunch on here. Like my dissatisfaction with the company can be traced back to Full Gear, and like I really thought he needed to win that match with the angle that they ran, and they didn't. So again, you would think that with the angle they ran yesterday, that maybe Swerve should win, but Hangman needs the victory. Like he needs to get a win on Swerve here. But so I don't know. If I were betting, I probably would bet on Swerve. That being
Well,
said.
and the other part I don't get about this is, okay, so these 2 have been feuding for a year now. We're finally getting the next singles match in between the 2 of them, and Hangman just set his house on fire. Like, you can't tell me that this match on Sunday is going to be the end of the feud. Is this going to be one of those things that just goes on forever and ever? If so, like, I guess it could work, because once they're in the ring, they're really good together.
Mm-hmm.
But for like someone like you who's a Hangman guy, like you're just kind of watching your guy go further and further and further away from what it felt like he was going to be 3 short years ago.
Yeah.
We talked earlier about momentum and how like changing things up at the wrong time can immediately stop your momentum. And I feel like they've done that to Hangman 2 or 3 times now. Part of it's his own choosing. Part of it was him being like, I want to go home and be with my kid, being born and my family, which, of course, like that's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But for the character, for the wrestler, I think it killed his momentum.
Mm-hmm.
And it's happened a couple more times since then, where it's just like every time you start to get invested in this guy, he goes away for a while. And when he comes back, he's got to overcome what happened before, the losses from before, and he's got to overcome being away for several weeks and getting people interested in what he's doing again.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. But yeah, Hangman should win, but we'll see. All right. So that's that. All right. Let's finish up here. It's football season, Matt.
It is.
Football
Let's
season.
go.
Our beloved Lions begin the season Sunday night. Bringing the Rams back in to Ford's Field.
Beautiful downtown Detroit.
In beautiful downtown Detroit for another Sunday night football clash.
The rumor is they're going to unveil the black unis.
Yeah, I've seen that rumor.
I hope so. It start turning those primetime games into blackouts. You get the whole stadium wearing black, and then they got the blue wristbands that light up. It's gonna be it.
Again, trying not to be too much of a pessimist. You start out wearing those black unis and you end up losing this game. Some bad juju.
All right, fair enough. But aside from the uniform, so I mean, this is we've been waiting since January, and this is it's nervous excitement. Like I wouldn't be surprised if they lost Sunday night. There's a lot of expectations, a lot of hype, a lot of can they do it again? And they're playing a really good football team.
Really good team. Yep.
Cooper Kupp is, by reports, back. He's recovered. Puka Nacua was a problem all year last year. What was the Lions' biggest weakness? The secondary. Terrion Arnold is getting the start. A rookie is going to be starting at cornerback against one of those 2 guys. That could be a problem. So, do I expect a blowout? Absolutely not. Like, it's going to be it's probably going to be a lot like the wild card game last year. A back and forth, comes down to the last possession sort of thing. But I'm really excited to see how this team has gelled and matured and what they're going to bring to the table With everyone back. Everyone's back that's of major importance. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And it's not like they're worse. Like the people who aren't back, it's like they upgraded. Like I can't think of anywhere they're really like worse.
Wide receiver, absolutely wide receiver.
Oh, okay.
I don't
fair.
understand why they let Josh Reynolds walk and they didn't replace him. And they have the money to do so. That's a little I don't get it.
I think they thought they had a replacement, but he didn't end up performing in the preseason. So that's why he's on the practice squad now.
But they didn't spend the money elsewhere either. And that's where I'm kind of like, if you didn't have a plan where you knew the money was going somewhere, why did you let him go?
That's fair.
But I trust them. I mean,
yeah.
Look, let's be honest. The third wide receiver on this Lions offense is the sixth option. I'm not stressing about who the sixth man down the line is getting the football. I'm just not. It could be a problem because what Josh was great at was being that third down big body target. Apparently Tim Patrick is going to fill that. They're hoping he'll fill that role.
Yeah.
But it's going to take him a couple of weeks to get caught up to the offense and get on the same page as Goff. So
yeah,
I don't expect it right away. I'm really interested in seeing how JMO and Jameer come out in year 2. I mean, technically year 3 for JMO, but let's be real. His first year was a wash. And just seeing if they take those steps that everyone talks about, because if those two are 20% better than they were last year, I don't know that there's a defense in the league that has enough to stop our offense consistently.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Waymo is the one that I'm like, let's go. It's time. It is time.
And from everything you're hearing coming out of camp, he's tightened up his work ethic. He's worked really well with Goff. He's picking up on the nuances of the offense. He's not just a speed demon. He's
still running some drops.
Right. And that'll be frustrating when it happens. But also that's something that you kind of have to live with when you got a guy who's got game breaking speed like that.
Yeah.
You know.
As long as he's not Kadarius Toney, I think we'll be okay.
Exactly. And I don't think he is.
I don't think so either.
I'm cautiously optimistic about the defense. They added a lot of pieces, and it just feels like you don't add a DJ Reader, and the defensive line doesn't get better. Terry and Arnold could have been a top 10 pick, top 15 pick, but the offense in this last draft was just so heavy that's where teams went. I think they got a steal in him. So, they added, 4 pieces in the secondary?
Yeah.
If 2 of them pan out, they're going to be a much better team. And it's, long-term season overall, if the defense is just in the top 20, I buy into the Super Bowl possibility. If that defense is in the bottom third of the league again, bottom fourth, I'm not going to be as confident. I'm not going to feel as good.
Yeah. Because I'm back to being not scared, but concerned about San Francisco.
I'm not. Like, it's we had them. We had them,
and I thought we had them, and I thought for sure, like with all the noise in the off season and that, like I'm like, they might fall apart. But then Ayuk gets the deal done, Trent gets his deal done, and then they had the galvanizing moment this past week with Ricky Pearsall getting shot and that, and I think that's gonna bring that team. Trent Williams said that's a big reason why, was like, all right, let's get this deal done and get me back, So
right. And that's all well and good. Christian McCaffrey still gets hurt all the time. He's always got something wrong with him. Debo always has something wrong with him. And when Debo's not on the field, the 49ers are not the same football team.
Fair.
And yeah, you don't play the what, you can't play the, well, if he gets hurt, they're not the same. Because if Jared Goff gets hurt, our season's over, right? But they were at full strength last year in the NFC title game. We took them to the limit. Brock Purdy is still their quarterback. Brock Purdy still doesn't scare me. And at some point, they're going to fall off too. It's natural. They've had a really nice run for the last 3-4 seasons. It's almost like that the Lions are about to be who the Niners were 4 years ago, of like, oh, here they come. And I think the Lions are a deeper team than the 49ers. I think they're the deepest team in the NFC. No one scares me anymore. There's no one that I'm like, I don't think we can't compete with them. They'll blow us off the field.
Right.
But but now it's the work. Now you gotta prove that all the hype and the Super Bowl predictions are warranted.
Yep. Absolutely. So looking forward to it. It's Sunday night, can't get here fast enough.
It's so the wife has a photo shoot in downtown Detroit at 2:00 on Sunday. Part of me wants to just drop her off and just go walk around Ford Field and just feel that energy.
Mm-hmm.
And part of me wants to be like, why don't I go over to the casino and throw $50 on the roulette wheel and see if I can hit a number and buy some tickets to this game, because I feel like the energy in that place is going to be through the roof. I think it's going to be better than last year's game.
I think so too, because the first game of the year. Yeah, I think it is.
8 months of pent up noise. The fans didn't really get a chance to give them their appreciation for getting as far as they did. And Captain Pad Statford is back in the building. So
yeah, I heard a rumor that there's going to be a video package.
There better not be. See, you want to give him his flowers, you do it when he retires. He's the enemy right now. Don't forget all the shitty years we dealt with as a franchise. He was a part of that. I don't want to hear it. He didn't want to be here. He said, get me out of here. I'm not going through another rebuild. This is what you get. You don't get to come back and be like, oh, give me my props for the one playoff game we went to or the 2 playoff appearances we made. Well, I made millions of dollars and they put all of their resources into trying to make Matthew better. No, I don't want any of that. And shame on anybody that cheers that clown on Sunday.
They made it to 3 playoff games.
Okay, great. How many did they win? None. Greatest wide receiver of our generation, and they couldn't find one playoff win. He doesn't deserve any. What video package are they going to show? Oh, here's him throwing for 400 yards against the Arizona Cardinals in Week 6 of 2014. Cool.
The shoulder against Cleveland.
Oh yeah, that one. Didn't they go like 5-11 that season?
The fake spike against Dallas.
Oh, okay.
And a bunch of the fourth quarter comebacks.
Let's just play the clips of him throwing the ball up in the air and Calvin Johnson going, "All right, Matthew, I'll bail you out again."
Sure. I don't know. I don't know. I'm either way on it. If they do it, fine. If not, whatever. Like you said.
Plus, that crowd, that place is going to be wired. Why would you want them to be like, oh yeah, let's appreciate Matthew and remember all the good he brought to us. And then out comes the team that actually did something for the fans, right? Like, again, you want to give Matthew his video package, his flowers, do it when he's retiring or after he's retired. This isn't the week. I don't care.
That's fair.
Have Dan give him $100 Applebee's gift card and say, "There's your appreciation. Now get the hell out of my building."
Go get you some 50-cent boneless wings, man.
Right, you can feed your wife and your kids on my dime.
Hopefully they don't come back.
No, they're not. She's already made it clear she's not coming back for her mental health.
Good. No one was booing your kids.
No one. What do you expect? Like, whatever. It is what it is. I better not to say what I'm thinking.
Fair. All right. Well, let's get out of here. We survived your internet cutting in and out. So let's get out of here while we're ahead. Thank you, everyone. Leave a thumbs up on this video. And if you haven't, please subscribe to the channel. We will be back next week talking all things wrestling and talking about this upcoming Sunday night game that we were just
talking. Lions victory.
Yes. Forward down the fucking field. Let's go. All right. Until next time, everyone. See ya.